Oh my God, everybody. This is the last lecture or the last part of the nervous system. I cannot believe it, can you? Wow. So we're going to finish off with the eyes. One of my favourites. Okay, so we have the eye itself, and then we have the accessory structures of the eye. Okay? Since the eye is full, chock-a-block of sensory receptors. Wow. This is how wide your eye is in diameter. It's quite big, isn't it? So remember, we have the eye itself, and then we have accessory structures. The accessory structures are the muscles, conjunctiva, and the lacrimal apparatus. Okay, let's have a look at the eyelids and the lacrimal apparatus. So let's have a look at the outside part, okay? So we have the eyelids, as you can see here. Can you see also that there are glands as well? Look, there are glands. So the eyelids are actually designed, obviously, to protect the eye, okay? And the eyelids themselves also have glands that are designed to lubricate the front of the eye, okay? Keep it nice and moist so that it doesn't dry out. So we can also look at the lacrimal apparatus. This is where your tears come from. Can you see here? You've got a gland, and the gland is actually going to secrete things in here. So your tears come from the outside of your eye, laterally, move medially, wash over, and then end up in here, okay? So they go through here, come down here, and end up in this little channel, okay? So these glands release salty solution, which is your tears. And you're all going to be crying tears because we've finished the nervous system, aren't you? But tears also contain mucus and antibodies, and also they help us kill off any bacteria. So our eyelids protect our eyes and secrete oily substances to keep the front of it nice and moist. And then we also have our tear system or lacrimal apparatus to use when needed. So they go out through here, and the little holes are in here. You've probably seen those little holes in your eyelids. That's just supposed to be draining down. Okay. Here we go. This is your lacrimal gland for your tears. But then we also have this membrane. It's on the inside of the eyelid. Look at this. Look at that conjunctiva. Look at that. The membrane sits on the inside of the eyelid and on top of your cornea. Okay. So we have lots of actual, look at the glands. These are the glands that are in your eyelids. How cool is that? And they secrete oil. Here are your beautiful eyelashes. Okay. I once got those fake eyelashes put on, and oh my God, they were so itchy. I woke up and all of them were on my pillow. So if you have sensitive eyelashes, don't get those fake ones put on. They are designed to protect our eyes. Okay, we also have some eye muscles. Okay, now these muscles are moving our eyeball around. Okay, you don't need to know the names and the locations of all of them. You just need to know that when these muscles contract, they make our eyes move to different places. Okay, so the eyeball actually has many, many layers, okay? It has an outer fibrous layer, a vascular layer, okay, and a sensory layer. So there's lots of tissues that make up your eye. So let's have a look at these layers. So I want you to understand exactly where they are and where they all fit in. So if you think of your eye as like a oval kind of shape, and light enters through one side and action potentials come out the other side, okay? Let's have a look at the sensory layer, which is where light is detected, where the photoreceptors sit. So can you see here, the retina is the innermost layer and it sits at the back of the eye, but it doesn't go all around. There you go. There's the retina. Then you've got a middle layer, which contains lots of blood vessels, because we need to keep the cells of the retina alive. So we need blood coming in and blood leaving the eye. So in this particular layer is the middle layer. What you need to understand is that it turns into different things. So for example, the choroid starts from here and then goes all the way around to there. But then the choroid, or the middle vascular layer, turns into the ciliary body and the iris. So they turn into things around here. So you have one layer essentially creating three different parts of the eye. Let's have a look at the outer layer. So this is fibrous tissue. It's connective tissue. It's really, really tough, and it's designed to protect your eye. So again, this is just one layer, but it turns into different things. So for example, from about, let me get my pen, from about here and here, this is the white part of your eye, and that's called the sclera. And say, for example, this part here is the transparent part of your eye, and that is called the cornea. So it's still the outer layer, it just turns into different things along the eyeball. That's what I wanted you to kind of understand. Okay, here's another picture. You have the retina, choroid, and sclera. Okay, you can have a look at that in that picture. And can you see here the vascular layer? Like I said, it turns into the ciliary body and it turns into the iris, but it's still the same thing. And so is the outer layer. See? It turns transparent, then it goes back white again. All right, so let's have a look at the iris. So this is the iris here. The iris is the color part of your eye. The hole also has a name. So the hole is the pupil. So everything has a name. Here we go. See, this is the iris. And different people have different colored irises. And then here, the hole is the pupil. And this is the sclera, the white of your eye. And here are your eyelashes. Okay, so before we start learning about how light is converted into action potentials. We just need to spend a little bit of time reminding ourselves what light is. Just like what we did with sound, exactly the same. Remember, what is electromagnetic radiation? Electromagnetic radiation is energy that comes from a source and that travels through space. Light is just a specific type of electromagnetic radiation. So we respond to this little piece, which is called visible light. So visible light travels in photons. That's how it travels through space. It takes 8 minutes for a photon to get from the sun into our eyeballs. So you literally have stars in your eyes, literally. So visible light, so white light is actually made up of a combination of wavelengths of light, and that's what a rainbow is. So a rainbow is where light is split up into all of its components. So visible light, which is the photons of energy that we can detect via our photoreceptors, the ones that we can detect are blue, green, and red. And insects have another one. They have ultraviolet. Yep, so they have better photoreceptors than we do. Okay, so the eye has 2 different parts. It has an optical part and a neural part. Now, the optical part is designed to bend the light, and the neural part is designed to respond to the light. So here is our cornea. The next part of it is like a little cave with fluid, and that's called the aqueous humor. And then we've got the lens. So the cornea, aqueous humor, and then the lens. Here we go, cornea, anterior chamber filled with aqueous humor, which is fluid, and then you've got the lens. Then you've got the lens, and then you've got the vitreous. So you've got cornea will bend the light. It's going to go through this bit here, which is a chamber filled with fluid. Then the light is going to pass through the lens, and then it's going to go through this bigger chamber also filled with fluid. Okay? So this is just a much more simplified version of what I'm talking about now. The whole point of the cornea and the lens, which are the major refractive components of the eye, is that light comes in, is bent by the cornea, and it's bent by the lens, and the point of it is to get a nice focused image on the retina. That's the whole point of that part of the eye, is to bring things into focus on our retina. Okay, I might stop it there.